Today we have not one, but two brand new items from McFarlane's Batman 66 line. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. Now here we are with these brand new items from McFarlane. We have the Batboat and what they're calling the Wayne Manor Library, although most of us who enjoy the show will know this as being Bruce Wayne's study. Sadly, they have not learned from the previous two Bat vehicles, and they're still doing this really awful packaging on the Batboat here. Fortunately, mine has arrived undamaged, but there's so many elements that are exposed here that I can guarantee people will be receiving these with cracked windshields, possibly some of these tail pieces snapped off and the beacon likely broken off. There's no excuse for this. I think I said the last time when we looked at the Bat Cycle, charge us an extra $5 and put it in a box like this. Now this is interesting as well. The previous two dioramas came with window packaging. I guess McFarlane are copying the Hasbro route and going for plastic-free packaging, although, and saying that, the Batboat is sitting on a whole bunch of plastic, so none of it makes any sense, but there's no plastic window this time, which is fair enough, doesn't really bother me. At least it is in a box, and everything should be well secured inside, unlike the Batboat. Now what we'll do is we'll do one at a time, so we'll start things out by taking a look at the Batboat. So looking at the Batboat, as you can see, looks good in the package. I guess if you are an inbox collector, this will look quite nice on display, given that practically, you know, 2/3 of the Batboat itself is out there for everyone to see and touch. I would say if you are picking one of these up in person, just make sure to check the windshield, the beacon, and these tail pieces aren't cracked or broken off, because they are completely exposed. Now on the back we have a shot of the Batboat in action, and you can actually tell, believe it or not, that that is not Adam West and I'm going to say Dick Ward, Burt Ward. That's the stand-ins for sure. But they also have an image of the Batman figure next to a Bat computer. But again, for me, this has to come out. So let me get this out of the packaging and we'll take a much closer look at the Batboat. Do not adjust your sets. Yes, this is a different day. The reason being I had a complete nightmare when filming this segment initially. Let me explain real quick. I was going on and on about how crap it was that the Batboat didn't come with a stand and kept, you know, keeling over. It was only when putting everything away I realized that the little stand was hidden within the packaging, so I've had to refilm this, obviously. Now, with that out of the way, let me just address an immediate negative in my opinion, and that was the fact that I had to apply the red trim stickers myself. I am not a fan of toys that come with stickers that need to be applied. In particular, G1 Transformers were really bad for that, and when you look at some used G1s on eBay, you can see the stickers are all over the place. So I think I did a reasonable job on this, and the red trim definitely does add to the look of this Batboat. Now, this is extremely lightweight, and I believe this probably could float. However, there are some metal screws, so obviously I wouldn't recommend that, but I think it will float. Overall, it's on par with the Batmobile and Bat Cycle in that it's a very primitive toy. There's nothing fancy about it. There's minimal sort of sculpting on the dashboard. Robin's side is completely blank. Now, funnily enough, I did happen to see a review of this. I know that McFarlane sends these out in advance to some of these big YouTube channels, and I saw the review of one where the guy was saying that, oh look, it's got a throttle and something else behind it. Well, that something else is of course the Bat phone. So they have those elements done. The steering wheel, very simple black plastic wheel which does not turn, but why would it? The beacon, it would have been nice had this had the ability to light up, but as it is, it does look good. Now they have sculpted in a couple of the compartments, one of which in the movie Robin retrieved the Bazooka from. These do not lift, these are just for decoration purposes only. And the flame effect, I think that's been printed on, and it does look rather nice. And obviously, when compared to the old Corgi Batboat, which was done in black plastic, this is far more accurate to what we saw on screen. But the question is, does it scale well with the figures? Let's take a look at Batman and Robin inside their Batboat. So as predicted, it's slightly too small. Much like the Batmobile, the figures do sit above the windshield, so if Batman were to take this out into the high seas, he's going to take a salty load to the face because there's no protection whatsoever from that little bubble windshield canopy there. They don't look horrendously out of place, I don't think. In my opinion, the boat has been scaled for a 5-inch figure. With these being 6-inch, it's not hugely out of scale. But as I said, much like the Batmobile, they do sit above the windshields. But all in all, if you've got this on display, it's going to look great. But with that, we do have the problem whereby the Batman and Robin figures have been out of circulation for, I'm guessing, 18 months at this point. And the prices on eBay are just extortionate. Given that they've given us a Batmobile and a Batcave and the Batcycle as well, there will be a lot of people out there who do not have the Batman and Robin figures to populate these vehicles and play sets. So perhaps it's time to reissue these figures. But all in all, aside from the fact that I did have to apply the stickers myself, very happy with this. And again, at the price point, what do you expect for your money? This is about as good as it gets in terms of value for money. So yeah, very happy with this Batboat. Now, moving on to Bruce Wayne's study, or as McFarlane call it, the Wayne Manor library. As I said in the intro, there is no plastic window this time, which I think is fine, doesn't really bother me. And sadly though, I think they were premature in releasing this set because, to the best of my knowledge, there was only ever one time that Batman and Robin stood in Bruce Wayne's study, and that was the episode Pop Goes the Joker, I think it was called, where the Joker is at Wayne Manor and he bursts into the study and sees the bat poles. Okay, so for the figures that are currently available, technically we can use the Batman and Robin as shown here, and we can put the Joker on the bat poles, but they really should have given us the Bruce Wayne and the Dick Grayson figures, which is entirely doable given they've already given us the maskless Robin and the cowlless Batman. So it's just a case of mocking up the civilian bodies, and I'm sure we will get those figures. Alfred possible as well, given that we have had Alfred as Batman figure, although he was heavily disguised. So I don't know what the deal is with the license regarding Alan Napier's likeness, but hopefully we will get that figure. But again, there was no scene in the show where Batman was operating the Shakespeare bust and Robin answering the bat phone, but best they could do. I guess it's a bit like Kenner when they released the X-Wing, where they're actually giving us the X-Wing pilot look, and they had the original Luke figure in the cockpit, and same thing with the TIE Fighter. It took them years to finally give us the TIE Fighter pilot, but it looks good from the front, and on the back we see the playset in its entirety. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all operates. Let me get this one opened up, set up, and we'll take a look at the details. Took me a while, but finally got it all set up, and my first impressions are it looks really good. Now, I maintain that these sets are just dioramas, although this one does have an actual action feature for once. So we have a small sort of notch to put our finger in on the back, and we can slide open to reveal the bat poles. And fortunately they have done it correctly, whereby Bruce Wayne has a much thicker pole than Robin or Dick Grayson had, so that's quite accurate. Very crude mechanism, but does the job. The little elements all look pretty good, with one glaring exception, and that's on the globe, which there's been no map of the world painted on, so as it is, it's just a beige dome. It looks rather odd. Shakespeare's bust does have a tilting head on a little hinge there, although it's been done in a brown plastic. It could have been done more sort of bronze-like in my opinion. The handset does not lift off the phone, but again, for the price point, what are you expecting? Now, much like the back computers in the first diorama set they gave us, the chair looks okay from the front, but from behind it's extremely cheap looking. But again, the price point, what they had to cut corners somehow. Now, the only real complaint I have about this is the fact that we don't have the correct figures to populate it as yet. As I said earlier, we've already had the maskless Robin, cowlless Batman, which means we 100% will get a Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson figure set, hopefully in the next wave, and possibly an Alfred. That way we can really have this looking a bit more accurate. And I'm guessing in terms of display, if you have these in glass cases, you'll obviously put this one on the top shelf with the Batcave underneath. Although in saying that, it won't line up with the poles, because on the Batcave set, the poles are off to the side here. So, you know, it is what it is, but it does look good, and I do like the fact we can actually play with it a little bit. Is it worth the 35 bucks? Absolutely. In this day and age, it's a good bang for your buck, and very happy with this. I do like the fact that although they are just stickers, it does bring it to life, these books there. We even have the law degree up here, which is nice. So all in all, it's a rather nice looking diorama with one action feature. There you go, that was a look at Bruce Wayne's study diorama slash playset and the Batboat from McFarlane. Now overall, very happy with these items. One or two things could be improved, but for the price point, I think it's about as good as you'll get in this day and age as far as value for money is concerned. So please do let me know in the comments, what do you think of these items, and will you be buying them? And as always, I thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, please share the video, please make sure you're subscribed, and stay tuned for more videos from All Things 80s.